This is the Possible Care for Dogs. The podcast begins.
Welcome to a new deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something important. An article called Bichon Frise Health and Care Essentials.
Yeah, it's a great resource.
Yeah.
Really useful if you have a Bichon or, if you're even just thinking about getting one of these super cheerful dogs.
Totally. You think Bichon, you picture that little white cloud, don't you? They're known for being so happy, so affectionate, and hypoallergenic too, just bundles of joy.
Exactly. But as the article points out pretty clearly, under all that fluff, they've got quite a sensitive little system, needs some knowledgeable care, really, proactive stuff.
Right. They have some specific health things to watch out for. So our mission today is basically to pull out the key takeaways from this article, the real need-to-knows to help you keep your own little puffball happy and, well, healthy.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The article kicks off with common health issues. What's like the very first thing it highlights?
Top of the list, yeah. Allergies and skin conditions that go with them. Bichons are very prone to allergies, could be environmental things, pollen, dust mites, that sort of thing, or food sensitivities.
Huh. And how does that actually, how would you see that in your dog? What are the signs?
Well, often it's that constant itching, and frequent ear infections can be a big clue. Plus, that reddish-brown tear staining you sometimes see around their eyes. Classic signs for this breed.
Ah, the tear stains. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
I think the article mentioned some data backing this up.
It did, yeah. It mentioned a study, I think it was veterinary dermatology, that put Bichons in the top 10 breeds most likely to get atopic dermatitis.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's often something that needs managing for their whole life, not just a quick fix. That's a really important point for owners.
Top 10. Okay, so what does the article suggest doing about it, practically speaking?
It really pushes for a high-quality diet. Sometimes a limited ingredient one works best, regular baths too, but with a vet-approved hypoallergenic shampoo. And just keeping a close eye out for too much licking, biting, or scratching. Those are signs they're uncomfortable.
Got it. Okay, moving on from skin. What's another internal thing they often deal with?
Bladder stones. They're particularly prone to a certain type, calcium oxalate stones.
Right. And the warning signs for bladder stones. What should you watch for?
The big ones mentioned are seeing blood in the urine, or if they're trying to pee really often, maybe straining.
Definitely things you wouldn't want to miss. So what's the advice for preventing or managing them?
Keeping them hydrated is number one. Lots of fresh water. Avoiding foods high in oxalates helps too. The article recommends yearly urine tests just to check. And if a dog keeps getting stones, prescription diets are often the way to go.
And didn't the article link this back to diet pretty strongly?
Oh, yeah, this was interesting. I mentioned some research showing that the right dietary changes could cut the recurrence of these stones by more than half, over 50%.
50%, that's huge. So
Yeah.
the food isn't just about general wellness. It's a major tool for preventing this specific, pretty nasty problem.
Exactly. The right food is crucial.
Okay. Let's talk about something else common in small dogs, their teeth.
Yes, dental health. It's a massive issue for little dogs like Bichons. You get tartar buildup really easily, gum inflammation that's gingivitis, and eventually, they can lose teeth if it's not tackled.
Is there specific info on Bichons for dental issues too?
The article brings up the Journal of Veterinary Dentistry. Apparently, it's really common to see stage 2 or worse periodontal disease in Bichons by the time they're only 3 years old.
Stage 2. What does that actually mean though?
Well, stage 2 isn't just a bit of tartar. It means there's already significant gum inflammation, maybe even some early bone loss starting around the tooth roots. Finding that in a 3-year-old dog. It just shows how fast dental problems can progress in this breed.
Wow, 3 years old is nothing. So you've got to be on top of prevention really early.
Absolutely. No way around it. Daily brushing is ideal. Professional cleanings, under anesthetic periodically. And the article mentions using VOHC-approved dental chews or treats.
VOHC, what's that?
It stands for Veterinary Oral Health Council. Basically, if a product has that seal, it means there's scientific evidence it helps reduce plaque or tartar. It's a good thing to look for.
Yeah, helpful. Okay, one more physical thing, how they move. I've heard about knee issues in small breeds.
That's right, luxating patella. It's quite common, often genetic. It's where the kneecap kind of slips out of place.
So you might see them do a little skip or hop sometime.
Exactly that. The article stresses keeping them lean extra weight puts a lot of strain on those little knees. trying to avoid loads of jumping, especially off high things, and definitely see your vet if you notice any limping or changes in how they walk.
Okay, so we've covered the big physical watchouts: skin, bladder, teeth, knees. Seems like these aren't just random, they're definite breed tendencies. And diet keeps coming up again and again.
It's so central, isn't it? The article really hammers home that nutrition is way more than just feeding them. It's like preventative medicine. Helps with the allergies, lowers the stone risk, supports their joints.
So what kind of food should people be looking for then?
Well, small breed formulas are usually a good start. Limited ingredient diets can be great if allergies are a worry. Look for omega-3s, good for skin and coat. And it suggests avoiding things like beet pulp, corn, and too much sodium.
And for the stone issue specifically?
Right. For those calcium oxalate stones, sometimes a low purine diet or one of those special prescription urinary foods is needed. Purines are just compounds in some foods that can contribute to forming the crystals, so reducing them helps.
Makes sense. Cutting down the building blocks. Okay, let's switch gears a bit, though it kind of ties back to skin, that amazing coat. It needs a lot of grooming, right?
Oh, it's definitely high maintenance, no question. But the article is really clear. It's essential, not just about looking pretty.
So what are the absolute must-do grooming tasks?
Daily brushing. Every day. That coat mats so easily if you don't. And mats are painful, they pull on the skin. Then professional grooming, probably every 4 to 6 weeks. Wiping their eyes daily helps with the tear stains. And cleaning their ears regularly, those floppy ears trap moisture, so yeast infections can be a problem.
So the grooming is really about comfort and preventing actual health issues.
Exactly. It prevents infections, skin irritation, even behavioral problems.
Wow.
A dog that's constantly itchy or has painful mats pulling at its skin isn't going to be happy or well-behaved.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Oof. Okay, so they look like little cotton balls, but they're not just ornaments. They need exercise, too. And mental stuff.
Definitely. They might look pampered, but Bichons are actually quite playful and agile. They need ways to burn energy and keep their minds busy.
How much exercise are we talking, roughly?
The article suggests about 30 to 45 minutes a day. Doesn't have to be all at once. Short walks are good. Playing games indoors totally counts, too.
Any particular activities they tend to enjoy?
They're often really smart, so learning tricks is great for them. Fetch is usually a hit. And just rotating their toys, keeping things fresh, gives them that mental stimulation.
You know, something about a study linking this to more than just fitness.
Yeah, that was interesting. A study in animals apparently found that daily playtime and cognitive challenges for Bichons were linked to living longer and having fewer behavioral problems.
Wow. Playtime linked to longevity. And better behavior. That really changes how you see it. It's not just tiring them out, it's fundamental for a long, happy life.
Totally. It engages their whole being, mind, and body.
And sort of underlying all this, staying on top of things with the vet is key.
Absolutely. Early detection is crucial for this breed. With all these potential issues we've talked about, the article lists some specific checks that are really important.
What should people make sure their vet is checking regularly?
While annual dental exams are a must, especially knowing about that early periodontal disease risk, yearly urine tests to screen for stones, regular joint checks for the patellas, and as they get older, blood tests to check kidney and liver function, plus regular eye exams for things like cataracts or ongoing staining problems.
It sounds like a pretty thorough MOT is needed. But, you know, as you said earlier, they're more than just their physical health. The article really emphasizes their emotional side, too.
Yeah, and this might be the most important part, honestly. They are incredibly sensitive little souls. They absolutely thrive on attention and being close to their humans.
So they really don't do well being left alone for ages.
No, the article is quite firm on that. Long stretches alone are genuinely tough for them.
How are they usually with other people or pets?
Generally pretty social, often good with other pets, good with kids. They just seem to crave that connection.
And what about training? Any tips there?
Very sensitive to tone. The article strongly recommends positive reinforcement only. Harsh words or methods really don't work and can just make them anxious or shut down. They really just want to be part of the family. They love routine. They love cuddles, love playing games with you.
And there was that specific bit of data about being alone that was quite stark, wasn't it?
Yes, that really stood out. It mentioned a study, I think Frontiers in Veterinary Science from 2022. It found that breeds like the Bichon showed higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, after just 1 or 2 hours of being alone.
Just 1 or 2 hours. That is incredibly sensitive. It really drives home that their need for company isn't just like a preference. It affects them physiologically. They're not just missing you. They're actually stressed.
It really changes your perspective on leaving them, doesn't it? They are true companion dogs who need that bond.
So thinking about everything we've drawn from this article, understanding those common health risks, the vital role of diet and grooming, keeping them active physically and mentally, the vet checks, and especially this deep dive into their emotional needs.
It really paints a much fuller picture, doesn't it? Way beyond just the cute, fluffy exterior. They're complex, sensitive, loving dogs with very specific requirements.
Exactly. And knowing about these breed-specific tendencies, from the allergies and potential for stones right through to that scientifically noted need for companionship, how does that knowledge change the way you approach day-to-day life with a Bichon? Maybe think about how being aware of these sensitivities turns things that could be challenges into, well, opportunities for better care, a stronger connection, just a happier, healthier life together.